One of the most important things for every guitarist to learn are their scales. And many guitar students don't enjoy practicing their scales because it just seems like there's an endless number of them, and instead you could spend your time practicing licks or learning solos or learning new songs. However, everything in music is based on scales, and to have a grasp on scales is just going to make learning new songs, learning new licks and solos a lot easier. Now, there are many methods to learn your scales, but the method that I learned and the method that I teach my students, I think simplifies it as much as you can possibly do. It also helps you learn all the notes on the fretboard, which is very important. And it's you can move these around to different keys, and they're easily adapted to other types of scales like melodic minor modes, or you can find your pentatonic scales within these, and it just opens up the guitar for you. Now, on my website, I've got a post that's all about these scales, and you can download a PDF that has the scales in notation, has them in tab, and it also has some fretboard grids that help you kind of just see the dots on where these notes are for each of these scales. So what we're going to do is I'm going to play all 7 of these scales for you so you can see how they work on the guitar. There are 7 of them because there are 7 notes in a major scale. We're going to use the key of F because F is the lowest note you can play without having an open string. And every scale position starts on the next note in an F major scale. So for example, the first one's going to start on F, the next one on G, then A, B flat, C, D, and E. And then you just start over. The same pattern that you played on F, you play on this F, G, A, and so on. So it just becomes a circle, right? But it's 7 scales, and then if we were in the key of A or something like that, the pattern that we start down here on F, we just start on A, and then the pattern we started on G, we would start on B, because we're just moving everything, we're just moving these patterns up the neck. So I'm going to play all of these in F slowly so you can play along if you download the PDF from my website. And you can see what fingers I use, you can see how I play them. Hopefully this will help it make a lot of sense to you. So I don't rush, I'm going to use a metronome, set at 100. the 7 scales, the 7 positions, practice them in the key of F, and then practice them in like the key of B flat, or the key of C, or the key of D. There's also some patterns. If you download the PDF on my website, there are also some patterns that you can use. I'll play those for you real quick. We just did just a regular quarter note pattern. Then there are 3 other patterns like this. And there's a triplet pattern. Wait. And there's a 16th note pattern. Anyway, so if you can do all of those in every position, practice with the metronome, you know, you'll learn your way around the neck pretty well. And of course, while you're doing these, think about what note you're playing. F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F, and so on, so that you start to remember what notes are in, you know, what place on the neck. Finally, so yeah, follow the link to my website below, or if you're on my website, if you have any questions, you can leave comments on the post, and I'll try to get back to you. And there's plenty of other lessons on my website as well, which you ought to be able to find pretty easily. All right, good luck.